Welcome to the Wednesday version of the Mike Meyers live stream, Ask Mike Anything. Asking that million-dollar question, can you hear me? You know, for a guy who does technology, I really don't trust technology at all. So, can you hear me meow? Somebody, okay. Scott Jernigan says I sound good. Andre says I sound good. So, we're good. What are you guys talking about here today while I'm not around? Yeah, Elbow, looks like other people are agreeing with me that you might have a bad slot on that motherboard. Well, hello, especially for you new people. My name is Mike Meyers, and this is the Monday and Wednesday at 2 o'clock Ask Mike Anything live stream. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies on CompTIA certifications. So we concentrate more in the area of A+, Net+, and Security+, but we're certainly more than comfortable going outside of those on an as-needed basis. We're even willing to talk about technical questions as long as it kind of fits in the world of IT. We're always glad to do that as well. Now, here's how this works. I'm on from 2 o'clock Central Standard Time until 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, or until the questions run out. So what you're supposed to be doing right now is you type questions into the chat window, and then I'll get those chats. Someone's knocking on my door. They can wait. Or you can also send me an email. Maybe you have a long question or something that's a little bit more developed. If that's the case, then just send me an email. Here's my email address right here, michaelm@totalsem.com. If you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe on Steam. And when in doubt, I'm Desweds at just about everything. Although now I've started to find people are copying me. So the reason I use Desweds, like that's my Gmail account, Desweds@gmail. So with Desweds, if you ever type it, it's just like DESWEDS, Desweds. So I can type it with my left hand without even taking my hand off of the mouse. So yeah, I've been doing it a long time. Okay, I'm a little weird. What can I say? We do not have a primary topic today, so we're just going to be talking. A couple of things I do want everybody to keep in mind, though. Remember that this Wednesday, we're going to have Jessica Dickerson back on from popular demand. Jessica's going to be developing even more about how entry-level people get IT jobs. She's going to be concentrating more on where are the websites you apply to, and then how to apply to them. Because her big thing is that, you know, a lot of people know which sites to go to, but they often don't take advantage of really, really critical stuff in order to make their resume and their job applications shine. And so she's going to be working on that. And she's also going to be showing you some websites that y'all never thought of. I certainly didn't. And I mean, if you're seriously looking for work, you need to show up, because Jessica's just absolutely a genius at this. And you will, let me just put it to you this way. Anybody who's highly competent, I didn't say years of skill, I didn't say lots of certifications. A highly competent person should not be having trouble getting jobs right now. Now, I got to probably say it's just for the United States, but I'm sure that works overseas as well. That'll be something that we'll have to bring up with Jessica, because she concentrates on the U.S., although I know she has some work with working in the EU as well. So that'll be up to you guys to ask those questions. So the bottom line is that you have to ask me questions. And either via email or through on the chat. And if we run out of questions, then we'll just cut out a little bit early. So make sure that you are aware that that's going to be happening. Also, I need to warn everybody, I am going to take a couple of days for Christmas, so we will not be on December 23rd. So we're going to be off December 23rd. I don't know what's going to be happening, because I let Dave Rush call it himself. But Christmas Day is Friday, and I'm just going to let Dave tell you guys what he's going to be doing. But do be aware, next week I will be on Monday, but I will not be on Wednesday. So you might want to go ahead and put that into your calendars. What else do we have coming up? I think that's just about it. We'll probably be going ahead and doing IPv6 next week. In particular, I mean, I could probably do it like right now off the top of my head, but I've been doing a little extra playing with IPv6 configuration or lack thereof, and I'm realizing that a lot of how IPv6 works for everybody is really highly dependent on your internet service provider. So what I've been trying to do is build up a few different scenarios so that you guys know what to do if, let's just say, like my ISP is really simple. I basically just turn it on and it works, and that's surprisingly kind of rare out there. So I'll have the rest of the other scenarios tied down by next week, so we can count on, here, I'll just say it so it happens. Next Monday is going to be a follow-on of the already existing IPv6. Now keep in mind, guys, I am not going to teach you what is an IPv6 address, okay? We've already covered that kind of stuff, and I don't want to cover it a second time. So unless you're really comfortable with, what is a global unicast versus a link local address and all that type of stuff, please watch the video first. I'm going to let Scott Jernigan see if he can dig that up for us. And watch that particular video, and then we can really pick up and we can talk in a more practical way. If you don't know what DHCP is, it's going to be frustrating for you to listen in on this class. Yes, IPv6 does have DHCP, so I want you guys to be up to speed on some of those basics and how that kind of stuff works. All right. What do we got here? I am really looking forward to having Jessica on Wednesday. She just started talking to me about some of the stuff she does, and I was like, I had no idea that these certain things work certain ways. I mean, like, nobody uses LinkedIn right. I never did. Absolutely amazing. No. We have a new person here, Cameron Boyd. Hello, Cameron. Welcome aboard. No matter what these guys say, do not write them a check, okay? And they can be pretty convincing. Michael Reeves is here. Sean McLaughlin. My girlfriend Alice Potsy is here. Scott McCormick. Dave Rush. No drama. It took me a while to understand what that meant, Dave. Dave Rush, Ask Mike Anything. Okay, so guys, you heard it from Dave. Dave is going to be taking Christmas Day off. But once a year, a time to pick a man's pocket, Dave. God bless us, everyone. So it's going to be a quiet week next week. We'll just have Monday. But I will be back 25th, 26th. That'll be the December 28th. I absolutely will be back on. And we'll be back to our usual insanity. So it should be a lot of fun. You can tell I got some Christmas stuff up. Decided to get a little Christmassy. I'm a little bit of a bah humbug kind of guy when it comes to Christmas. But one of my nieces kind of called me up and said, hey, how about if we come over to your house for Christmas? I'm like, okay. Which is actually kind of cool because it kind of turned me into the spirit of all that is Christmas. And so now I got a tree. Of course, the problem with my tree, of course, I just can't have a regular tree. My tree comes with a remote, and it's got about 7,000 functions for the lights. And this ain't working. And yes, I've tried changing out the battery. We'll get it working. I mean, I've got to, what I really need to do is get Dave Rush over here and tie, I got this last Raspberry Pi. I could tie the Raspberry. Suddenly, this is actually a cool idea. I'm going to have to get the schematics for it, but I'm going to see if I could get a little code working for this Pi to run my tree. Oh, that sounds like fun. I'm definitely doing that. Done and done. Oh, yeah. I literally just thought of that in front of you guys. I'm just going to sit here and try to get this stupid thing fixed. Oh, no. We're going to get it all connected. Dang. Sometimes I have great ideas. Mike Meyers, super genius. All right. Anyway, let's get to some questions right away. Looking for questions. All right. Poor Elbow's been sending me emails about this motherboard. And I'm just reading. Gotta tell you, Elbow, especially if this is brand new, I would definitely just replace the thing. Yeah, just rebuild. Hey man, I call these oobs. oob, you got to pronounce like that. Oob. It means out of box failure, because that's how it feels when you get punched in the stomach. You know, it's like oob, because you bought this new piece of equipment and you're unwrapping the shrink wrap and it doesn't work. It's very frustrating, but I know the feeling. I've actually gotten to the point in my dotage where if I'm building a system up, a lot of times I happen to have a really good place for buying this stuff locally, and I'll go ahead and have them put the RAM and CPU on. Not because I don't know how to do it, I can do it in my sleep, but because if they assemble it and anything goes wrong, then I can send it right back to them. And I know it's cheesy, but I have been doing that lately, and it's worked out. Jose Braden's here. Welcome aboard, Jose. Andre, my favorite Belgian. Let's see who we got here. 8,000 and 10,000 per day. What? Infections in the Netherlands? Yipe. Yeah, I'm kind of tucked in myself, to be honest with you guys. I've finally reached the point with this that here in Texas we've had a pretty good spike, and I went boating Saturday night. But I figured that'd be okay out in an open air boat with just a few other people in a pretty big boat. So other than that, I've been kind of keeping to myself. As you can tell by the hair, man, I finally can say that I have corona hair. I mean, look at this. Hopefully by the time next week, I'm going to be back to shaving my head. So, yeah, that's what I usually do. Jason Helms. Ooh, it's a quiet day. We can put a few things in to keep you all busy. The Mandalorian. Yeah. I think William Shatner said it best. Get a life. Now, I'll actually admit, I've started to watch The Mandalorian a little bit. Des Wed's elbow. Des Wed's. Dave's IT channel. How much attention is given to the different sizes of different motherboards on the A+ exam? Do I need to memorize the sizes? I mean, you don't need to memorize the dimensions, but you need to memorize which one's bigger than which, right? So the nice part is they've got rid of a lot of I don't think they have Flex ATX or any of that stuff anymore. So, make sure you know your mini ITX, your full-size ATX, and that mid ATX, and that's probably about all you need. So not much, Dave. And also keep in mind that the other reason they'll talk about that is why would you go with a full-size ATX board versus a smaller board? More slots. That's about it. Yeah. And more RAM slots usually. Most of the boards, most full-size ATX boards are going to have 4 slots, whereas an ITX is going to have 2. That's about it. There you go. Dave's already answered it. Okay. Zach's on. All right. Micro ATX. Oh, goodness sakes. What did I say? No, micro ATX. Sorry. So there really was. It's Flex ATX is the tiny one. I don't even see those anymore. It seems like the mini ITX has covered those up. And then there's the micro ATX. There was another one between the micro ATX and the full ATX, and I don't remember what it is. And the fact that I don't remember what it is pretty much assures you it's not going to be on the A+. Oh, even Brendan S. is here. Oh, Dave, I don't remember. Dave says Pico ATX. I don't remember, so I'm not going to say anything, just so I can stay out of trouble. All right. Let me make sure I did have a couple of emails, but I think they were all covered. Give me one sec, guys. There it is. I've moved everything around. Lots of questions, but more on businessy stuff. Okay, so I guess we got a pretty quiet day here. Suddenly I feel like a director going, yeah, like this. We can pull this off. All right, what do I want to talk about? I guess I can tell you one thing one of the things I'm stumbling into on the IPv6, which is literally once I answer this question well, I'm pretty much ready to do a full-blown IPv6 discussion, and that is most ISPs provide, when they do it right, they have what's called prefix delegation. We'll get into this when we do the big thing. But so they usually will send a prefix delegation to an individual end router. And then that prefix delegation then goes into your router, and your router then sets up your internal network ID with it, with this prefix delegation, right? So it's a beautiful thing, and it works great. But what do you do if you have like two routers internally? And the answer is, at least here with my system, both of them are getting their own unique prefixes. And I'm like, woo. So I'm not quite sure how that's working. So literally that's the last big question I need to figure out. And then I'm going to have everything set up and ready to go. Sean, here we got this, 2:15 p.m. Sean McLaughlin, are you able to give us some information on the hardware and networking areas for CompTIA A+? I mean, Sean, I would say a big chunk of the 220-1001 exam is hardware and networking hardware. Are you okay? Because there's like the networking, like setting up DHCP and DNS servers, and then there's the what's the difference between a switch and a router kind of stuff. So the 220-1001 covers that in great detail. You would have, where'd you go? I mean, in terms of the hardware, you better be pretty comfortable with all the primary components that you're going to see in any desktop system, from motherboard to RAM to CPU, BIOS, both traditional BIOS and UEFI. Most of the types of connectors. You need to know what a SATA connector looks like. You need to know what a M.2 looks like. Working with the expansion slots. What is a 1 by versus a 2 by versus a 4 by versus a 16 by PCIe slot. And understanding the basic configuration and construction of those types of devices. When you move towards things like laptops, you certainly need to be aware that laptops have all those same components, but some of the unique aspects of a laptop certainly come into play. The CompTIA A+ will ask you questions about dismantling a laptop, and having a basic understanding of where's the wireless antenna in most laptops. It's in the monitor, and that type of thing becomes very, very important. When you get down to sealed systems, smart devices, you're not going to get a whole lot of questions on the hardware aspect of that. It's not going to ask you to memorize a bunch of different APUs or something like that. But it's definitely make sure Apple uses what, and Android, and and the different types of operating systems, having a basic understanding of rooting a system versus unlocking a system. What is an IMEI? What's an IMSI? Stuff like that. On the networking side, the A+ covers pretty much a huge amount of core stuff in terms of, what is a router, what is a switch. The networking questions for the A+ are more of you have a system that needs to connect to a network. So it's not so much how do I set up a network, that'll be more of a network plus thing, but A+ is more of a how do I connect to stuff. So that might be a big start, but I mean, literally, your question says, can you give us some information on the hardware and network areas for CompTIA A+? Everything I cover is probably going to, I guess there's some operating system and application stuff in there as well, peripherals, but yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, Sean, really, your best bet's always going to be, more than anything else, grabbing a set of practice questions. And speaking of practice questions, this week we have a deal. This is our AMA special deals for the week, 50% off all of our A+ and Net Plus Total Tester and Total Tester SIM bundles, as well as the Security Plus Total Tester. So if you're going to pass a CompTIA exam, you gotta have practice questions. You don't have to get them from me, but I'm the best and about the cheapest. And we offer those at 50% off. So all you have to do is go to www.total7.com, head over to our merchant area, fill that cart full of fat loot of practice questions, and just before you check out, type in the code HOLIDAYS, that's plural, 2020 at checkout, and you get it all 50% off, which is a ridiculous deal. Absolutely amazing. Scott says, I miss questions. I never miss questions. It's impossible. Yeah, guys, keep in mind, if I miss a question, just ask again. It's never a big deal. See one. Daniel Wilson at 2:05. Hi, Mike. I am almost finished with my first read-through of your Net Plus book and videos. I'm having trouble in figuring out a study plan after this. Do you have any advice on how I should proceed? Yeah, Daniel, I just can't stress this enough. Practice questions are your friend. You should be able to answer practice questions. And if you can't answer a practice question, then that might be an area you need to practice on. So that would be my first big response to that, more than anything else. Hang on, guys. All right, let me see if I can find another question. I'm getting more people talking to me over here than I am on the chat. There it is. There's my buddy Andre. What is the difference between refresh rate and response rate on monitors? Well, it really depends on the technology more than anything else, but in general, a refresh rate is the amount of time it takes your entire screen to have another screen up and ready to go. So, like the lowest end refresh rate we see anymore today is 60 hertz. So you get a new screen every 1/60th of a second. You'll see refresh rates that go a lot higher than that. 120 hertz isn't uncommon anymore. The idea is that if you have a higher refresh rate, it puts less strain on your eyes and it reduces ghosting in general. So that's one thing. Response rate is different. They're kind of tied together, but a response rate simply means on any given pixel, how long does it take to fully change color? So, and this really has some substantial variance depending on the technology. And that's usually measured in low milliseconds is how quickly an individual screen thing changes. That can, I forget, why is response rate important? Well, it's important. Honestly, I don't look at response rate very much. Once I'm familiar with what a response rate is on a given technology, I'm much more concerned about refresh rate more than anything else. But they are different animals. Refresh rate, how long does it take to get a new screen? And refresh rate is the amount of time it takes individual pixels to change color. All right, I was like, I don't see any questions. Scott keeps finding them for me. Michael Reeves, I already got my A Plus and Network Plus, but they have expired. Is it best to get them renewed or go into Security Plus? Well, Michael Reeves, my first question is are you working? Do you have a job? In general, for me, you do a certification to get your name on the stack of on a stack of resumes, get your name on top. And I don't like people refreshing their certifications unless it really directly applies to their work. What I'd rather see you doing is you start working and in that year or 18 months, you start taking more aggressive certifications. You stop using Mike Meyers stuff and moving into Cisco or Microsoft or certified wireless network professional or some type of whatever, AWS cloud, whatever it is, and you don't renew. I mean, of course, CompTIA would love for you to renew all their stuff, but no, I don't see it that way. I think in general, you should keep moving forward. But the question is I don't know if you have a job or not. So that would be a real big, I am looking for an entry-level job. Okay, well, yeah, Michael, I got to tell you, if you could really hit a technical interview well, I'm not offended by people who go, well, I got A+ certified a few years back. Look, people are in the hiring stuff. Either they don't care that your certification's expired, or either they don't care, or it's going to be not that big of a deal. Hey, Jack, I guess who showed up? So, the number one thing you want to do is get work, right? That's the biggest thing more than anything else. And yeah, using the excuse of stacking up a bunch of certifications and then getting a job is a false thing. You get work and then you move up. So I think you definitely want to show up on Wednesday, Michael. I think you're going to enjoy it quite a bit. Oh, Sean, you passed Core 2. Well done. All right. Well done. Big round of applause. I remember, Sean, you had sent me the email talking about how you were doing it backwards. We understand why. So now you're going to do Core 1 in 3 weeks. Good. Good luck. And go get work. Get a job. Get a job, you long-haired kid. Oh, Scott, I'm catching up to you. Scott's typing in the questions he's thinking I'm missing, but I've just caught up. All right, Miguel Arias. Taking the A+ Core 2 tomorrow morning, so I got to head out and finish up some PBQs. Good man. Possible scenarios. Thanks very much. Hey, you're very welcome, Miguel. Hey, do come back on Wednesday and tell us how you did, man. Horace Buckley. What's the average prep time for the A+ exam? Sorry, I saw Michael Reeves said he will get fired again. I'll have to look into that. The average prep time really it depends on you. All right. In general, and I've been putting more and more variance in this lately because I've been getting a lot of input. I feel that most people can study for an A+ exam on average with about 120 hours of study. That's a little on the low end. It is not uncommon for people to add 100 to that, getting more than 220 hours of study. If you really know your stuff, that could be as low as 40 hours of study. So the question I have for you then, Horace, is how much do you know? One of the things that I like to do in my books is in the intro chapter, I actually create a table for you to help calculate the amount of time you need based on I ask what skills you have, and then you can kind of guesstimate on that. But the variance is outrageous. Some people study well, some people don't. Some people retain knowledge, some people don't. Everybody's a little bit different on that. It's so funny now, with the new A+ has been out now for almost 2 years, and everybody, literally until about 3 months ago, has all said that the 1001 is easier than the 1002. And now I'm getting a lot of people saying the other way. Certainly is up. CompTIA can certainly update their exam whenever they want without announcing it. They don't have to tell, and they don't tell anybody. But now I think I might be tempted to sit on the A+ exam again here. I don't know where these smudges come from. I really don't know. I think it's Jack. I'm going to blame the cat. Is that what I should do, Knucklehead? Here, say hi to everybody. He's being antisocial today. Hello, Flib. This is Jack. He's a pretty comfortable cat. Okay, buddy, thank you. That's about all he wants to do. Sometimes he's all friendly and fun, but today he's like, bleh. I think I feed him too much. Scott McCormick, see, I've got a Glengarry. I do. I do, back there. Yeah. Because I'm Scottish. Because if it isn't Scottish, it's crap. BTX. Yeah, BTX is not on the A+ anymore, thank goodness. Cameron Boyd, repost. I'm attempting to change industries. I have been a chef for a little over 10 years and we started to work on IT fundamentals. Advice, comments, concerns? Hey, the first thing I would do is take advantage of the fact that you're a chef and don't throw that away. There's a desperate need for IT and food service in all kinds of different ways. And as you move into IT, look towards food service. I got a buddy of mine, he works for a company that just, it's more corporate food. So if you're fine dining, it might be a little hard, but you know, they do tremendous point of sale systems and all this incredible accounting. And they're always looking for IT guys who, you know, they live in cars, but they're going around and, you know, fixing point of sale systems, correcting bad connections between individual restaurants and the home office and that kind of thing. And yeah, that might be something you want to consider. That's the biggest thing that people do. If you have experience, you think you're going to run out in the world, just throw all your experience away. That's dumb. It's just dumb. So I'm going to hope, Cameron, that part of the reason you cook for 10 years is you enjoy it, and that maybe if you approach it from a new angle, that whatever got you to quit will be not an issue as you move forward. But you can do it. Yeah, people do it all the time. All the time. Daily, people do it. Michael Reeves, dang hippie. Yeah, I feel like a hippie right now. I do. Yeah, definitely, Sean. Be there on Wednesday. Jason Elms, my 901 is on 9 a.m. Ready to knock it out. Good man. Do it. Rolling Man Cave. Nice. Can I add a new drive in RAID 1 configuration with the current drive on my Windows 10 computer? Can you add a new drive on a RAID 1? Well, remember, RAID 1 is going to be a mirror. So, yes. But, you know, classically, RAID 1 requires an even number of drives. I'd have rather you'd have said, Mike, can I add 2 drives? Which you absolutely can. Can I add a new drive? That makes it sound like you want 3 drives, and it doesn't work that way. So no. Can I replace a drive? Absolutely. I mean, that's part of the reason we do RAID, right? Is so we have easy replacement. Hopefully that answers your question. Jean, hey Mike, what's your take on GNS3 and their courses? Can it really be used to be more proficient at networking? You know, I haven't looked at them. I got to be really honest. I have not been looking at them, so I'm going to run away and hide and say, I don't know. Their prices look reasonable. You got to keep in mind, a lot of these, I call these Udemy wannabes a lot. Now this is, you know, they specialize in more of a slightly higher end stuff. I'm seeing a lot of CCNA and Cisco in here. The only thing I'd tell you on people like this is there's probably a pretty good chance that those same authors are doing the same courses someplace else. So that doesn't make these guys bad. They obviously have some pretty good pricing here. I mean, I've heard of these guys. It just didn't come up on my radar. I mean, today, now between LinkedIn and Udemy, it's hard for me to look at other people. That doesn't make them bad. That doesn't make them bad. They might be fantastic, but that's my answer. Michael Reeves, what percentage of the CompTIA tests are performance-based? A small percentage. Nobody knows what the percentage is. No one can tell you what that percentage is. Based on my own experience, it's usually about 3 to 5 questions. Dave Rush swears he's had them with 7. I have not had that experience. That doesn't make it wrong. It just means I haven't had that experience. And they're usually packed right at the very beginning of the exam. It's like the first thing you do is you do the performance-based questions. No, Tolowit, Jack isn't in charge. Margot's in charge. Her Royal Highness is around here somewhere. Philip Vorkapik, I'm terrible at names. Thank you, Professor Messer. I managed to pass Core 1 a few days ago. Get the Core 2 knocked out. Professor Messer's a great guy. Got nothing wrong with him. In our industry, the more people who teach, the better it is for everybody. It's like having, is it better to have 1 restaurant on the street or 5 restaurants on the street? If you have 5 restaurants on the street, you tend to get more than 5 times as many people show up. The only thing is good for you guys is that people like Professor Messer require me to keep the quality of my product high so I can crush him. But yeah, Professor Messer's great stuff. And good luck to you on that Core 2, Philip. Come back here and tell us how you did. Ibrahim, there he is. We were having fun without you. Ibrahim, when's the new Security Plus book coming out? Soon. We still have like 2 more chapters to write out of 13 chapters. And they're mostly written. We just have to make them good now. All right, here's Rolling Man clarifying his RAID 1 situation. I have 2 drives. I want to add a second drive in my RAID 1 configuration with a new 3rd drive. I want to add my 2nd. All right, so he has 2 drives. And he wants to add my 2nd drive in RAID 1 with a new 3rd. Don't you mean new 4th drive? We're going to have to draw pictures, Rolling Man. You can't have an odd number of drives for RAID 1. If you have any RAID 1 situation that has only 3 drives, it's not going to happen. Because the moment you're going to go into Windows, it's going to say mirror the drive, and it's going to see 2 other drives and it says, which one do you want me to mirror to? If you've got a RAID array, if you've got a mirrored RAID array that's filling up, what you probably might want to consider is putting in another RAID 1 array with much bigger drives and then copying your stuff over, pull the old RAID 1 out. But just schlepping stuff into a RAID 1 array, that's not going to work. I guess you don't even want to try. I was going to say you could go do a RAID 5 or RAID 6. Don't do that. Yeah, you would buy 2 drives that are much larger capacity than whatever your existing RAID 1 array is. Because if you're filling, I always get blown away when people tell me they're filling up a hard drive these days. It's like, what are you storing? Anyway, you would want to spin up a second RAID 1 array, 2 new drives, spin it up, and then copy your stuff from the old RAID 1 array, or just keep another hard drive letter, whatever you want to do. The funny part is, the other thing, this does kind of hit an issue that I have with a lot of folks. That is, if you're filling something up in today's day and age, you either are keeping too much garbage or you're not archiving. Because nobody needs hard drive access to stuff. And, we're not going to talk about, people used to download a lot of movies or anything like that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But, if you do want to do that, then you might want to consider using a NAS solution or something like that, where you just pull those drives out of your computer and have them on a local little server. It's pretty easy to do. You can build a nice little NAS off of, I was going to say, can we do it with a Raspberry Pi? I think I'd need SATA connectors for that, though. But there's lots of little NAS solutions that are out there that are, a few $100. Cameron Boyd, Core 1. Yes, Cameron, what we're talking about is the CompTIA A+ exams. The CompTIA A+ exams, you have 2 exams, and you have to take both exams, and once you pass both exams, you are then A+ certified. The exams are currently called the 220-1001 and the 220-1002. And part of what we do here at Total Seminars is create training materials for folks like you to pass those 2 exams. David Zientara, but then again, I bought your questions. I passed Network Plus and bought his course notes. His. So you're talking about me? Yes. Jean Darvell, all my tests for A Plus and Net Plus were 5 performance-based questions. That's not been my experience, but that's good information that we can add up, and I will keep that in mind. Thank you. So with holiday around the corner, are there some tech gifts you look forward to getting or hope to get? No. In fact, I tell people, do not try to buy me technology because it's like trying to buy my girlfriend a purse. All I'm going to do is be wrong. So what have I been looking at? I still don't have the high-end GTX I've been jonesing for. Software-wise, there's that Cyberpunk 2077 I've been looking at. I gave you my Steam account. That's about it right now. There's a couple of small things that I've been kind of toying with, but most of the stuff I want to be doing right now is I'm actually doing a lot of. I've been following along on a lot of Dave Rush's Raspberry Pi stuff. Not because I'm not that terribly interested in Raspberry Pis, but I really do like the way Dave uses it as a very cheap platform to learn about a lot of CompTIA stuff. Especially, people think they got to, buy all these computers or VMs or whatever, but a Raspberry Pi does so much. And the fun part is about a Raspberry Pi is that I am absolutely clueless about the I/O stuff. You know what I mean? With the breadboards and I wouldn't know a resistor from a capacitor, but that is really some of the stuff that I've been looking to want to play with. And yeah, I'm terrible at circuitry. I'm going to have to read my buddy's book on the Geek Girl's Guide to Circuitry. That was a good book. But what is something I really want to get? I want to get some really good quality cameras. These cameras, I mean, it really looks like that the Mike AMA might be going on for a while. So thinking about upgrading the my home into something a little bit more, still I can do it myself, but on the same token, maybe push the camera quality up and some studio equipment I've been looking at, some HDMI switcher boxes. I really have a lot of toys. In all honesty, man, I have oodles of toys. I need someone to give me another 500 square feet of man cave. Yeah, I know I'm single, but I got to keep most of the house for normal people. We just have like a man cave area with lots of big workbenches and things like that. All right, guys, I'm going to have to take a 30-second break for the obvious reasons. I'll tell you what, give me a sec. I will be right back. Check one. Check one. I feel refreshed. Hey, come on, guys. I've been doing this now for, 6 months and change? And that's my first bio break online. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's all that World of Warcraft I used to play. Wait, I got to read Tolowitz's smart-ass statement here. Nope, nobody's giving me any trouble. Okay. No, it's not a wine break, dudes. I'm cutting my alcohol way down, man. I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade these days. Gatorade Zero. Tell you what, the difference between resistors and capacitors is all the flavor. It's too crazy. AJ Primetech has popped in. Sonrix. Hey, Mike, what career field is better? Information systems and technology or computer? The words mean nothing. Those aren't separate things. Nobody has a good finalized term for what we do. And you'll see bachelor's degrees and all kinds of stuff that have, like information systems and security, So information systems and security, the reason that you have security in there probably tells me it's going to have more security stuff, where computer information technology systems, I don't think that there would be any difference in anybody's mind. Literally, if I was looking at two bachelor programs and I would not be using the name of these programs as a comparator. I'd be looking at what I'm actually be learning. I'd be pulling up a catalog. I'd be talking to some professor in that college to see what they're really offering. I'd be looking at what that school does in terms of job placement. I'd be looking at the reputation and the accreditation of that school. And I'd also be honest with you, I'd be looking at the price. There's some straight up ripoffs out there, kids. And I don't see, especially for like AA degrees, people spending $24,000 and stuff like that for a 2-year degree. That doesn't make any sense. For a 4-year degree, that's a university degree. Those are obviously much more expensive. But the two different names you're telling me, Sonrix, are not enough criteria for me to make a decision on. Again, who are the schools? How much do they charge? What's their reputation? How long does it take? And when you say degree, are we talking about a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree? Or, there'd be more questions to add there. Oh, I mean, I know that there's between a resistance and a capacitor, guys. I'm not a circuits guy. That's all I'm trying to say. But now, man, I want to get this. You should see you guys can actually see the tree there. And it's right now, it's stuck in some kind of demo mode, but it's LED and I could do all kinds of stuff, but this thing's busted and I want to take control of this. I looked up the FCC stuff. It's some Chinese company and, out zero support, but. Andre Shatudikat, hey man, guy's got to go. He's got to go. What can I say? All right, let's see. We got Scott type. Somebody wanted to talk about storage. Oh, you mean about the, Scott, you're talking about the RAID 1 question we saw earlier? The problem I have, I don't like telling people to go from RAID 1 to something else. Or I don't like anybody going from one kind of RAID to another kind of RAID without completely building up a second kind of RAID. Because what happens is there's a lot of data. And remember, especially if you've got a mirrored system and you're filling it up to the point where you want to add another drive, that can be a real big challenge. So, yeah, anytime you come into a filled up RAID situation. Now look, if you want to go look at some like Ubiquiti RAID controller with hot swappable capabilities and all that, but that's a whole other universe of fascinating complexity. And that would move us more into that NAS kind of world. But it's really not that expensive. You can get a bare bones 1U pizza box Ubiquiti system for under $1,500. Yeah, I know that sounds like a lot, but if you start getting a lot of data, then suddenly the data becomes a whole lot more expensive than the hard drives underneath it. Edward, Mike, will CompTIA have discounts on their vouchers for Sec Plus? There's always some way to get a voucher. If you're in the United States, honestly, the best way to get one is if you can take advantage of a school in your area that has an E2C program with CompTIA. If you can get a hold of that, that's the gold standard, because that will knock more than 60% off the exam. It could be even more than that, but I don't want to be a liar. But then you have to be affiliated with a school, okay? And sometimes schools allow a more easygoing affiliation. You never know. It's just a matter of finding it. You can go on CompTIA and look up their E2C program and see what schools are on E2C in your area, and give them a call. You never know what they'll say. Especially if it's like a little community college. You know, go take an underwater basket weaving class and then get these ridiculously discounted vouchers. All right, so if you can't do that, then the next thing you're probably going to want to look to do is lots of providers of training materials have discount vouchers. These are only about 10% discount, but still 10% on $400 is $40. So like, for example, we at Total Seminars sell discount vouchers, which I think is a very competitive price. Just go to www.totalsem.com and check it out. We will never provide any more of a discount on vouchers because CompTIA sets what that discount is. And I mean, unless we want to sell them at a loss or something like that, which we don't want to do. I love you, but not enough to lose money. And so, yeah, that would be those would be your two big options. Other people have different levels of discount. I'm not offended if somebody else is selling discount vouchers. And just type in, go into Google, type discount CompTIA vouchers and see what deals are out there. You know, there's always somebody cheaper than me, but there's rarely a lot of people as cheap as me all the time. Chris Fieldays, hey Mike, I'm spending $2K plus for a program in community college. Worth it for CompTIA for 1001, 1002? Again, Chris, you know, the whole motivation for self-study versus going to a school is if I go to a school, that degree ought to mean something. Like here in Houston, some of the community colleges around here work aggressively with employers and good job fairs that really help people get work and all kinds of stuff like that. Especially here in Houston, we got that big oil patch that needs a lot of folks. So that would be, then the money becomes trivial, right? Are you getting the full A plus for 2K? I mean, that's $400 just in vouchers, plus for most people, $200 to $250 in training materials. So you've almost got half of that covered just in what most people would pay in training materials alone. Do you like the vibe of going to the school? Do they have a good pass rate? Are you learning stuff in the school? You know, all this stuff has to come together for you. Yeah, I don't mind when people spend single-digit thousands. I get scared when I start hearing these $23,000 stories and stuff like that. So $2,000 sounds about right, Chris, in my experience. Rolling Man Cave says he doesn't have RAID now. So why would you want to add a third drive? All right. Well, let's say you don't have RAID at all. You got 3 drives. Go ahead and make it RAID 5. Or go ahead and make it, use storage spaces and then use their Groovy Parity one. And that way you don't even have to have the same size of drives. See, the nice part about that type of stuff is that now you can easily replace a drive that goes bad as long as you put a bigger one in. Scott Jernigan build guides. Dalton Hudson. Hello, Dalton. I'm from Ms. O'Shea. Oh, you're from Audrey O'Shea's. I was wondering what your Steam was for the boys. Well, it's not just for the boys, it's for anybody who's gaming. I'm not gaming a ton right now, but one more time. My email address is michael@total7.com, but my Steam name is Senor Pepe. I actually do use the Enye, but English keyboard, so I just do it like that. So that's how you can get a hold of me, man. Jason Helms, Mike, what is an E2C? E2C is an Education to CompTIA program. I'm not even sure if they still even call it E2C, but it's basically where CompTIA wants to lock schools into, well, for one thing, buying their stuff. Sorry about that. I won't make any comment on the quality of CompTIA training materials. And I know they give the exam, but their training materials, it's like, but then they also provide, like the teachers get free vouchers so they can take the A+. The students get very, very discounted vouchers. They get some little bits of insider information, stuff like that. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad program. And you guys are already planning for your Discording time. All right. Mike, what's the weirdest computer you have ever resurrected? The weirdest computer I've ever resurrected? God, I have to think about that one for a minute. God, I had an old Amiga I brought back to life. So what's that, a Motorola 6800? Mostly old stuff. I don't have anything newish that's cool that I brought back to life. An old Sinclair system, 64K Sinclair system. 9 times out of 10, these old computers that aren't working, they just need a new power supply more than anything else. I just can't say there's one in particular. Looking for questions. I had a feeling things would be slowing down around Christmas, which is fine. You guys definitely got to be here on Wednesday. I mean, you got to be here. In fact, you need to talk to your friends who are looking for work and get on here, because it's basically, it's for you, Mike. Sorry about that. Yeah, Luke Butler. Here's a good question. How focus more without getting distracted by your phone? It's easy, Luke. Remember, you're going to pay $400 for these tests. So get serious, get real about this. And this is serious grown-up stuff. It's fun to allow yourself to be funsies and stuff, but if your phone's distracting you, turn it off. There really is an off button, swear to God. And just because you might miss that Reddit post or whatever it might be, you'll be okay. Trust me, I have the same problem. I'm very distracted by my phone. And just turn the phone off. Turn it off. I mean, there's a certain point where you have to prove that you have enough discipline and to be able to do something. And if you lack discipline to be able to study for an exam, then you might want to consider another career other than IT. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. Now I am a man and I act like a man, or something like that, whatever. All right, so a couple other things. Number one, guys, do remember that we still have 50% off all of our practice questions. So to take advantage of this, all you have to do is head over to our website, www.total7.com, and pick out an A+, a Security Plus, or a Network Plus practice test, the Total Tester. And if you want to, you can also get the performance-based questions, the Total Sims, and you get any combination, like just get A+ questions or A+ questions and the Total Sims. So you get Total Tester, Total Sims, get the bundle. And you get 50% off, guys. This is ridiculously low prices. Just head over to www.total7.com, go over to our merchant area, load that up with Fat Loot, and just before checking out, type in the code HOLIDAYS with an S, HOLIDAYS 2020. Scott Jernigan will put that in the chat for you so you guys can check that out. It's an absolutely amazing deal. Also do keep in mind, David, 1 Corinthians 13:11. All right. I'm not a very Christian person, but I'm always glad to have you guys around to help out. Do keep in mind that we have a Discord channel. Jose Braden is the administrator of that. I don't know if Jose's been delegating responsibilities out, making some new mods and getting some help out here. This is not a Total Seminars channel. This Discord is run by Jose. That's it. And whoever else he might be delegating stuff to you. It is not a, blah, 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 Total Seminars, Mike Meyers, you guys get the idea. But I do pop in there from time to time, and I know they're getting themselves organized, and they're really looking for people to work together right now. I got to tell you, just having a Discord channel for doing silly things like, somebody buys Mike Meyers A+ questions, and somebody goes over and buys somebody else's A+ questions, and y'all trade them. What's wrong with that idea? Stuff like that. And this is really the best way to get this started is, picking a channel, maybe start picking time periods where you guys want to meet up. Right now, we tend to meet up after I'm done talking, which seems like it's going to be pretty soon here today. But that's really up to Jose, Andre, Tolowit, Zach's on there, and whoever else is on there too can help do that kind of stuff. Jose Braden, still have to delegate moderators. Do it, Jose. Watch this. You may do it. Okay, Rolling Man Cave, we're going to get this rate thing figured out. In fact, Rolling Man Cave, this is also a great example of the type of thing that would be good for you to jump on this Discord channel. The reason it would be good is that you can get your microphone on here and we can all talk to each other. And keep in mind, Mike Meyers isn't the only good tech out there. I got a lot of great techs who show up on this Discord channel. So honestly, but to make it easier, you don't have RAID, you have one drive in there right now, then you can add another drive and just mirror that. That's all configured in Windows and works great. Also do keep in mind, guys, we've started to reach the point where if you like what we're doing here, I would really, really appreciate if you guys start subscribing to the Total Seminars channel. And it's just like any other channel. Just hit subscribe. And trying to think of who do I like. You guys ever do World of Tanks? Quickie Baby? It's like, if you like what you see, hit a thumbs up. And if you don't like it, hit a thumbs down. And it's basically the same thing here too. I really would like you guys start clicking that like button, letting me know that we're doing a good job. I don't know how we're going to be getting bigger, but we will be getting bigger. And it's very much appreciated if you guys do that type of stuff. So it would be good. Edward, Mike, does the practice questions of Total Seminars include performance-based questions? Yes and no. What we do, Edward, is we sell two separate products. We have the Total Tester, which is just multiple choice questions. Then we have the Total Sims, which are the performance-based questions. And that's what we're talking about. You can buy them each today, like buy the A+ Sims and the A+ Total Tester. You get 50% off the package. Thank you, Zach. Yeah, I'm going to have to start doing like you see on Steam, people subscribe and I have like some animation go across or something like that. What do you mean a bad Scottish accent, Tolowit? I can do a better Irish one. That was Irish. How about a quick joke? Ready? What's green and sits outside all year round? Ready? It's patio furniture. Okay, that's about all I got here. All right, guys. Well, it looks like things are definitely slowing down a little bit today, so we'll go ahead and cut out early. Do keep in mind, and it's all right. It's no big deal if we have slower days, especially around the holidays. If by any chance I didn't get to a quest or anything like that, don't worry. Just go ahead and contact me directly. Send me an email, michaelm@totalsem.com, and we'll be glad to get to those questions for you. This is a great time to be studying. Also, keep in mind this is not a bad time to be testing either because demand goes way down this time of year, and it tends to be much easier to get exams scheduled the times you want, that kind of stuff, so you might want to consider something like that. Alice Potsy, tell the truth. You missed my question today. Oh, geez. Alice, ask it again. Cameron just reposted it well. So ultimately, I would like to get into networking and security. I'm trying to gauge if doing ITF is a required starting point. Thoughts? Probably not. In my opinion, Cameron, IT Fundamentals is really designed primarily for users who will not be moving forward in the world of IT. I will tell you that Scott Jernigan's done an amazing job with the IT Fundamentals product, and you can gain a lot from it, but if you're going to look more towards the technician world, I'd be looking at A+ as a starting point. All right, Alice, where's your question, boss? Scott, help me dig up Alice's question. Jose Braden, I heard elbow. Alice is... Okay, so Alice, you're teasing me. You're very, very funny. You're an amusing young lady. You make me laugh. Inside, I'm laughing greatly. And I am not mad at you for tough questions, Alice. I'm never mad about tough questions. I get stuff wrong all the time, man. It's no big deal. Easy peasy. What do technical support analysts actually do? They analyze things. Yeah, Luke, you know, titles mean nothing. Titles mean nothing. I never pay attention to titles. I look at the job descriptions, and that's what's going to get me to where I want to be. Don't ever bother with that stuff. I will always be there for you. Yeah, Luke, nobody can make anything up. Yeah, Scott Jernigan. I think Scott Jernigan's current title is Grand Poobah, Editor-in-Chief. What do you think, Jack? Are you going to be Editor-in-Chief, Kitty Kitty? Can I make you Analyst, Kitty Analyst? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here today. I will be on the Discord channel, but I probably won't be on for about 15, 20 minutes. But I will be on camera. I'm going to be using the full talking thing. We can talk about RAID a little bit more if you guys want to. You don't have to do voice, but I don't know. Why else be on thing? So anyway, we'll go ahead and see you guys there in about 15, 20 minutes for me. Probably Scott Jernigan, Dave Rush. I know Tolowit and Andre and all the rest of you Whack-Zack will all probably be on there as well. And I'll tell you what, until then, do remember, please, this Wednesday with Jessica Dickerson, we're going to have a really, really exciting discussion about getting working in these COVID times. So we'll definitely want to take advantage of that. And until then, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So this is your little Uncle Mikey signing off by saying good night. Good night, kids. I'll see you Wednesday. How do I turn this thing?